When your company earns unlimited 2% cash back on all purchases with Capital One, that's serious business. So Stephen at SandCloud got a serious business card, the Spark Cash Plus card from Capital One.
We used our 2% cash back to help build our retail presence.
Savvy, Stephen.
And we get big purchasing power, so our business can spend more and earn more.
The Spark Cash Plus card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/SparkCashPlus.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
We're back in a new environment.
Yeah.
Very nice.
We're on vacation.
Yes, we are. I'm Selene Castrovilla.
I'm Pascale.
And this is Life in Jest, a show where we subscribe to Chaucer's sage words in the Canterbury Tales. Many a true word hath been spoken in jest. So we are in, where are we?
Massachusetts.
We're at a very nice Airbnb.
Yeah, super
very
nice.
Large, very large apartment.
Yes, I was not expecting this.
And, usually things look better in pictures, but in this case, this place looks better in person.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, this is definitely very nice.
They should change their pictures because, it was fine. We came to go to Boston and to Salem, but it's more expensive to stay in. The hotels are insane.
Yeah, and this comes with free parking. That's what I was looking for.
I just love that. That's your favorite?
Because every hotel I looked at, the parking was like maybe $40 a day.
Yeah, when you stay in a city, that's what happens.
Yeah, it was very expensive. And the hotels were more expensive.
Yeah, and hotels, I like Airbnb better because it depends on the situation, but you can get a kitchen. You usually get use of a kitchen even if you have to share it. But in this case, it's a whole apartment.
Yeah, 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms. We each get our own bathroom, which is cool.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a very nice place, except for the volume on the TV.
Yeah, we can't figure out how to turn it up.
The remote doesn't work.
So we just kind of read the...
I was listening intently. I hate closed caption. I hate it.
I always have closed caption on.
No, because if I'm reading that, I'm not looking at the people.
I know, but I don't know. I think my hearing might be going. I just...
No, that thing, there's something wrong with it. We couldn't... It was only stuck on 8.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people, like the old people that put the TV up loud.
Well, I couldn't hear it much either, but I was struggling.
It was very low.
Closed captions inhibit my ability to actually enjoy a show because I'm reading them and I'm not looking at the show.
Oh, usually I will watch, but if there's something that's kind of garbled, I'll look. Like I have it on, but I'm not really watching the closed caption. It's like a backup.
I have to turn it off completely at home because it just distracts me. My kids always watched it like what their problem was. They were not old fogies.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's the way you're used to it, maybe. Like I think young people all do that now. They look at closed captions. Yeah. It's not bad. I guess it's just not for me.
The funny part is I hate foreign films and TV shows where there's closed caption.
Right. They're annoying.
Because I think I have to pay attention more.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, it's something to worry about. It's another ball in the air that you got to think about.
Yeah. And plus, if I'm going to read, I'll just read a book.
Yeah. So now you see my point about that.
Yeah. What's with us?
You're the one who said you use closed caption.
Oh, no. I just meant, we were so upset about that volume.
Well, I couldn't hear.
Yeah.
Well, I think people understand that.
I mean, it's such a nice TV, too. I mean, if you like TVs, like I usually don't care, but it's fairly nice.
What qualifies a nice TV? It's just it's TV.
I don't know. It's big. It's like, I wouldn't get one that big at home or whatever, but
is it that big?
It's a lot bigger than mine.
Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe the room's so big that I didn't notice the TV. I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I go to sleep, I have a TV by my bed, but I unplugged it because I couldn't get it. What was it doing? I just couldn't take it anymore. So I just unplugged the whole thing. I can't. So now I just put on my phone. I watch Netflix on my phone when I go to sleep. I don't care.
Yeah.
Who cares anyway?
I don't know. I like having the TV, but yeah, we don't have them in the bedrooms here. So I just turned on my phone. But then I got distracted. I was listening. Usually I'll just fall right asleep.
Yeah.
But, sometimes you get into it, the
that's
show.
why you have to watch something old. And you're right.
It was old.
Oh, you got into it anyway?
Yes.
You were so tired. I think you go to sleep.
Because we're not home.
Come on. Anyway, so we drove here. It seems like 1,000 years ago already. But we stopped. We came, but we stopped at the Lizzie Borden house.
Yeah, which is about an hour and a half from where we're staying.
Yeah. So Lizzie Borden, we always talk about true crime.
Yeah.
And that is a very, very famous case that never seems to lose its appeal for people. And we went to the house, and it definitely wasn't what I expected. I mean, I don't know what. What
Me
was
neither. I don't know.
I'm not sure what I was expecting. I thought that they set it up nice, right? Like it was. I mean, it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Lizzie Borden, if you don't know, or to refresh your memory, was a woman who was accused of murdering her stepmother and father, and she was
and Andrew.
Yes, and Andrew's middle name was Jackson.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
And, well, Mr. Andrew Jackson, not the greatest president. And her middle name was Andrew.
Yeah, Lizzie Borden.
And Lizzie's real name actually was Lizzie. It wasn't short for Elizabeth, which is odd.
Yeah.
I think.
Every time you hear Elizabeth, do you think of Sanford and Son, or is that just me?
I thought it was Liz. Was it Elizabeth or Elizabeth?
I'm not sure if he just said it, Elizabeth.
Yeah. I think he said Elizabeth, right? I'm coming, Elizabeth.
I don't know. Now I'd have to check. Okay, never mind.
But no, that's not what I thought of until you say.
Every thought I have goes to TV.
Well, Lizzie, I don't remember what I thought of. I did think of something with Lizzie regarding TV, but I can't remember what the hell it was anymore.
Lizzie McGuire?
Maybe. I don't know who that is. I've heard of her, but I don't know who
that was a kid show with Hilary Duff.
It's possible.
Right?
I honestly don't remember anymore what was going through my head, but I definitely did have something with TV in my head. So I just always wonder why some things become so ingrained in our culture. It is a gruesome crime. They say it was with an axe, but it was actually a hatchet. That's very violent, and especially committed on people you supposedly love in your family. But it's not like it's the only case that ever happened. There's so many crimes, violent crimes, right? So, and often when we listen to podcasts, we listen to crimes that are not so well known, right? Like last night we were watching one we never heard of about a girl. Well, we don't know. Actually, it's assumed she's dead. She's been missing for like 30-something years.
Yeah.
But it's just, why are something so phenomenally popular? And so in this case, I can't help but thinking there are several reasons why people say, which I'll say after, but the fact that there was this children's, they call it a skipping rope rhyme, it is very disturbing that children skip rope to a murder.
Well, that's why I said when you asked me, I was like, no, that can't be a nursery rhyme.
Yeah, well.
But apparently it was.
Well, it was sung to the tune of the then popular song Tarara Boom Die, which I know that song.
Oh, and now I'm going to have it in my head.
Sorry. But I don't know, like I can say, I'm going to read this, but I don't know if I could do it.
Uh-oh. Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. I have never heard it, the Tarara Boom Die.
Lizzie Borden. No, it's not working.
No.
Tarara Boom Die.
I don't know why
it says is.
I've always heard it another way.
Well, you're just saying it, right? Like,
no, that's how you do it when you're skipping rope.
All right, go ahead.
Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw that she had done, she gave her father 41. And you skip rope. Does anybody know what I'm saying? Anybody
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I hate that. No, it's like one of my most tortured memories.
Really? You didn't like jumping rope?
I can't do it. I have no rhythm, and it's very upsetting. Yeah, I mean, I don't have very good childhood memories at all. Everything's pretty traumatic. When it comes to socializing, nothing. No.
You didn't do hopscotch and stuff?
Oh my God, nothing. Wow. Because number one, nobody. I mean, that's wrong. I'm not gonna say they didn't like me. I thought they didn't like me, and I just couldn't. Especially because how do you really learn it? Like people expect you to already know it.
Yeah, I don't know how I learned it.
And
I have no idea.
So I just couldn't. Well, I wasn't going to ask somebody. They don't have patience. They just want to do it. They want to play.
Yeah.
So never mind. It's just a horror story.
Sorry, I would not have brought it up.
No, but number one, I don't understand why this was a children's thing at all. But I know it was, and it's also wrong. Okay, because it was a hatchet, and there was no. It was her stepmother. But could let that go. But 40 whacks, no. It was like, what was it, 17 whacks there?
Yeah, 17 whacks does not.
No, and then 41, no. It was 17. It was like 11 for him, I think.
Yeah. I think it just doesn't help with the rhyme. I think they were going for
strange
all
choice.
Of these things that aren't true are just, it just makes the rhyme better.
Yeah, but why would they even... Well... Folklore says that the rhyme was made up by an anonymous writer as a tune to sell newspapers. A tune. So I guess that's Tarara Boom Die. And that does make sense because when we were there, the actual newspapers were hanging up and very yellowed. And was extremely, I mean, I can understand it being at the time so sensational. I mean, this happened like, wow, but it does make sense that journalists would put that in. For sure. I can see that. But then others attribute it to the ubiquitous but anonymous Mother Goose. So a rhyme, a Mother Goose rhyme, which...
Did anybody know who Mother Goose was? I
don't
have
think
no
so.
idea.
It says anonymous, and I think they would have said if it was.
I never thought of that. I'm not sure why I care, but I'm just...
I don't know. We know the Aesop's fables, but Mother Goose, I think, is anonymous. I don't know why.
Yeah, I was never that interested in Mother Goose.
No. You're little when you hear them, and you don't really... You're just forced into them.
Yeah, they're kind of goofy.
And then when you're older, though, you're past it. So you don't, there's really, you know what I mean? To be consciously interested doesn't really happen. It's more that it's ingrained in you.
Yeah.
Her mother suffered 18 blows and the father 18 or 19 and the father 11. Now the rhyme has a less well-known second verse.
There's a second verse?
Andrew Borden now is dead. Lizzie hit him on the head. Up in heaven he will sing. On the gallows she will swing. Well, that didn't happen.
I'm so excited that it had another verse.
It's interesting. It's interesting that
got even darker. I love that.
I don't know. It was pretty dark when she took an axe. And
no, but now she's going to the gallows.
Now they
which
could have
she
used.
didn't.
They could have used hatchet and patchet like the doctor couldn't. She hit them with the hatchet. The doctor couldn't patch it.
Yeah, that's not good for jumping rope.
I think it would work. You didn't give it a
jumping
chance.
rope. You need like a certain.
Okay.
Which is probably why I've heard that version and not the
Borden took a hatchet.
Lizzie
Borden took a hatchet. The doctor.
It's the second. It's the patchet.
What's the doctor's name?
Borden, I think.
Yeah. No, that's their name.
Oh, that's his name. I don't know. We heard it like 20 times yesterday.
We'll just say Paxton. Lizzie Borden took a hatchet. Dr. Haxton couldn't patch it. Love it. Yeah. I don't know. Being a writer of nonfiction history, it really pains me when things are changed. And we know what really bothered me also in the museum? They had all the souvenirs and they all referred to axes. That shouldn't be in a historical place. It should be.
Yeah, but we had this discussion. It's not a historical place.
Okay, there's a couple of things about it. Okay, it's not a historical landmark, which is strange. It should be. But it's owned by a ghost tour place.
Yeah.
So their primary thing is to sell these tickets, get as many people there.
That's why it's like
I know,
that.
but it's wrong. Because and it's just wrong. Because they had like a bumper sticker which said, "Don't ax me where I've been" or something. I was, and I went to, like they used axe as a pun, as a play on words in a lot of things. And then they sell like Lizzie Borden axe. They could just as well sell a Lizzie Borden hatchet. I mean,
even the tour guide had an axe. She didn't have a hatchet.
I had to ask what it was. I really didn't know, but apparently a hatchet is smaller than an axe. Did you know that?
I did. I don't know why, but I did.
Yeah, I didn't know. But I just am a stickler for stuff, and I guess in a way, and also some of the things we asked the girl. She was kind of new working there. She did seem a little thrown sometimes by the questions we were asking. But I mean, I'm not going to say it was interesting. There was a lot of stuff to be said, but when I researched stuff, a lot of stuff came up that was not included in the house thing, which I think should have been kind of included because it's representing this woman. And
I think it might be there's a time limit to those tours. So you can only do a certain amount of information.
Okay,
they have other tours.
Wait a minute.
Cycling through.
Okay, I'm gonna say they included things that had nothing to do with Lizzie Borden that could have been eliminated. Okay,
yeah,
like the upstairs, they had a whole room that's supposedly haunted by children that were, it's horrible. They were murdered by their mother, but this had no direct correlation to Lizzie Borden.
Yeah, but being it's owned by the ghost hunter,
right?
people,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They're trying to sensationalize things,
right?
They're trying to add things to get you.
They could have added more about Lizzie. They didn't really talk about Lizzie Borden haunting as much as they could have themselves. Oh,
I agree. I would have liked to know those things. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it from their perspective.
But their perspective, well, that just again, it's sad that it's owned by people. These like historical societies still want to sell tours, but I think it's more because they want to educate people. They're not about looking for how much money can I make from this. They're looking to really educate people about history. Whereas privately owned, companies for profit, they want to make as much money as possible. And I'm not saying they were not accurate, but I'm saying it's a shame that a historical site where something happened or whatever is not held by more of historical society, like what's the name of where we were? Fall River?
Fall River.
Like the Fall River Historical Society, whatever it is. Like if they owned it, it would be more I just think it wouldn't, like at the end, and then charged us, this was ridiculous. They charged us $7 to go in the basement.
That I was annoyed about. I mean, it's only $7.
No,
but it was
that's
the point.
Up.
Yeah.
Right. Why wasn't the basement just included? Okay.
And
right.
The basement wasn't that interesting.
The basement was just set up like where they said, she's like, well, podcasters sit down here. I'm like, well, why would podcasters want to sit down here to film when they could do it in the actual room where somebody was murdered? Downstairs, nothing happened. Upstairs, there were murders. They could do it like the living room would be perfect because it's a living room. You could sit, or even in the dining room where Lizzie was supposedly ironing handkerchiefs while the mother was being murdered there, right? They also performed this is really stupid and odd. They performed the autopsy on the woman, on the stepmother, in the dining room.
It was stupid, but I think they did things like that. It's like when they had the wakes, it would be in the person's house, like they'd be laid out.
The wake is ew. Did they? But an autopsy is particularly disturbing.
Of
course,
in
someone's it was odd, and they were looking for poison, evidence of poison, which these people. I can understand wanting to know more, but maybe first you should process the crime scene as it is. Maybe think about the hatchet wounds and think about they did not process. But my story, my point about the podcasting or whatever people they said they do seances downstairs also. Why wouldn't you do the seance in the room either where someone was murdered or
think it's because the basement looks creepier.
I don't think it did.
If the lights were right, it would look creepier than upstairs.
I think a room where someone was actually murdered is the most creepy.
Once again, it's not that I don't agree with you, but I think for the can't be sensational part of it, I think that's what their reason is.
They're just trying to make more money by having a reason to go down there.
It's also possible. I mean, and I don't know how many people pay the $7 to go in the basement.
I think a lot of people, because if you're there anyway, you're obviously interested in this, right? Otherwise you wouldn't be there. So most people are going to do it because, it's that FOMO. You got to know what's going on in that basement.
Because they don't really tell you anything except do you want to go in this basement? And you figure that there must be something.
Which is a very real thing. Yeah. And you like, well, I'm here anyway. Why wouldn't I do this, right? You know what I mean?
I know. I was so annoyed by that.
But and also, they implied that paranormal activity happens. And of course, they're not going to say no one ever would say something will happen. But it was nothing. They had one photo of like heat censored, the infrared of some
a ghost cat.
No, but it wasn't. There was a picture. Well, they didn't. They did talk about the cat at length.
She had the infrared of the ghost cat.
Oh, that was the cat?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the cat has nothing to do with anything, and the cat died very recently because we saw a picture of the cat in the gift shop.
Right. It was like
a contemporary cat. It was not. And then they had paw prints that the cat had walked. The cat lived to be like 24, right?
21.
I thought they said 24.
21.
Somebody else's cat that I heard recently.
Yeah, I was all about the cat. So,
but somebody else said some cat lived to 24. I must have read that.
I mean, that's possible. Yeah, sure.
Anyway, it's fine about the cat, but it has literally nothing to do with Lizzie Borden.
Yeah, it was just a cat that walked through paint or cement or something.
And then she's talking about this ghost cat. But, when you're selling a ticket to something in the Lizzie Borden house in the basement, it kind of implies it's going to be about Lizzie Borden.
It was not. And
then they had this, picture, like some sort of, it was like, when they do like a Rorschach test and you see this. Well, she suggests to you that it's a face. Now, honestly, I've seen other faces and things that I thought were faces way more than this thing looked.
I mean, it looked like a face.
It was okay.
Do I think it's some paranormal thing? No.
No, and it didn't look like anybody involved in the case particularly.
No, it's like when people say they see Jesus and then people
exactly
flock there. It's
right.
it's just a coincidence. It kind of looks like a face.
It also, it wasn't the perfect face. It had like, it wasn't.
No. I mean, but if you looked at it, you could sure it's a face.
But I think if someone suggested to you that this is something else, you might see that thing.
Oh yeah.
That's, she was very suggestive of it. But I personally, I even did it in the bedroom upstairs where the stepmother was killed. I always see things in wood, like the knots in wood. I always see things and usually they look horrific. I was in an elevator the other day and the wood paneling, I felt like it was a torture chamber, like faces
it's so
and horror.
Funny because we saw two different things. I mean, but that's
what
happens. Yeah.
That's what it is. Well, this is, and when you go to anything on a sightseeing thing, whatever, it's all about the psychology within you. Like yes, they are presenting you with things, but it's the other part of it is what you're made of and what you put into something.
Yeah.
And so that's why everybody's experiences are different. But I just think, number one, going in the basement was a complete ripoff.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, give me a break, the cat. Okay.
I think we both agreed. Even just when we sat down, when we just walked in, I think we were both like, you've got to be kidding.
And then, you know what they do? They sell brick dust from the house.
They do.
And she showed us, like, this is where they get the bricks. Like, you can see the bricks.
So somebody just comes and scrapes the brick and puts it in little bottles.
Man, that's a bit of a racket, isn't it?
I would have been more into it if she didn't show me. Like, I could have done that myself. If she didn't show me where it came from, I might have been.
Maybe.
I wasn't super interested in it, but I would have been more if I hadn't seen.
I think it's more interesting, like the fact also that's in the basement. I think I would have liked it more from, like, the basement's very separated from where the crimes happen. And like in a lot of times, crimes do happen in basements. So there's a lot of bad stuff that happens in basements, but in this house, really nothing happened in that basement at all.
No, it was fine.
So once you start, revealing the, how things work, like where they get these brick things from, it took away from what I wanted. I didn't want it either.
All I could see was that all the teenagers working there going and scraping the wall.
Yeah. Wow. They're like, it's true. And they sell these little vials of it and then they sell it as a necklace. Like, oh my God. But,
a lot of the stuff they had in the gift shop was hokey.
It got hokier when you went back in after the tour and you realize how far removed it is from everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And which makes me sad. And I think we both can agree. I mean, it seems clear that she did do it because.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Although okay, so let's talk about the case. Okay. Lizzie Borden, I think she was 32.
Because her sister was 9 years older than her. So her sister was 41. She was 32.
Okay. What's the sister's name again? Emma, right?
Emma.
Yeah. She was a young, seemingly respectable woman. And the case fueled public fascination and left the case unsolved, contributing to its enduring infamy. Well, I mean, is the case unsolved? She was acquitted, but she was rich, and she was a woman, and a lot of people felt that women just couldn't do this kind of crime. So, but there's a question: is the case unsolved? I mean, just because someone's acquitted doesn't mean the case is unsolved.
No, but they didn't have any evidence because. They were like the Keystone Cops. They screwed up the whole thing.
So they did that autopsy of the woman in the dining room.
Yeah.
And they used like an autopsy board on the dining room table, but it had like holes all over. Like, it was ridiculous. It was like a cane chair kind of a thing. And they cut their stomachs out and sent them. The father's was done in the sitting room, I think, right? He was killed. Well, he was killed in the living room. What do they call that other room where they did his autopsy? The parlor?
Yeah, I would call it a parlor.
Parlor. They did his autopsy in there. Instead of concentrating on like searching the house up and down for evidence like you should do, they also did not create like a real crime scene. Like, people came in and out, and Lizzie and her sister and a cousin that was staying with them and the maid all stayed there. Like, it was ridiculous. So Lizzie was able to say she committed the crime. She was able to tamper with all kinds of evidence. And in fact, she did.
You left out the part where, so the cops didn't get there for half an hour. Because they were, what was it, a picnic?
Yeah, they were at a picnic. And they told everybody, don't commit a crime.
Advertised, right. Don't commit a crime because the police will all be busy.
We passed that town. We got off on the highway by that town where they had the picnic. It was
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, Warwick, I think they said.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't paying attention.
I mean, seriously, like, that reminds me of like in Nassau County, they make all the cops go like on a little, like a parade thing. Not all the cops, I guess, but several cars all with flashing lights, drive around, and it's like a show of force, I guess. But to me, it's like, okay, the cops all went this way, so criminals go over. You can go over there where they just were, committed a crime.
I just read a book actually where that was part of the book, that there were these murders happening, but the police and the firefighters were having like a baseball game, and they were all there instead of trying to catch this serial killer.
Oh, it was a serial killer.
There were two different killers going on.
Oh, okay. When the cops are all obviously away in one area, it does seem like a poor judgment for them to do that. They should always have a skeleton crew.
I always think that about the fire parades, the firemen parades, because it's usually from several towns.
Right. It is.
I mean, I would imagine they have people.
I hope
I mean,
I don't know.
That would be insane if they didn't.
But I always thought the best time to commit a murder is Halloween because everybody's in costume.
It's in costumes and the police are distracted.
They are distracted.
Or 4th of July because the police are distracted.
Well, also you could shoot and nobody would know it was a gunshot. All right, guys, you ready?
Don't testify against us.
No, we're not killing anybody, but we might. I mean, we are. I mean, people could think of this stuff on their own. All you have to do is read a book. Like, for example, it's a really extreme case when the cops absolutely advertise, "Hey, don't commit any crimes. We're going to be doing this."
I know, but she would have known that. She was a pretty smart lady. I feel like a lot of this was planned.
It seems, why that day, right? Why
that day? She seemed to kind of have her stories. She did. Everybody was out.
She did switch stories around.
Switch stories, but all the circumstances were ideal for her
in a way. Except, I mean, I think that she didn't have it perfectly down pat.
Not perfectly.
Maybe she got thrown because the stepmother got killed 9:30 a.m. right, and then the father came home at 11, and he tried to get in the door, but the door he couldn't use his key.
No, the uncle couldn't get in the door because remember the maid was outside washing the windows. The uncle came.
No, it was the father.
Both of them. Oh, it was the father.
Yeah.
Oh, then I did not pay attention. Sorry.
The uncle didn't come home till later.
Yes.
Yeah. The father,
wow. Okay. Sorry, duh, guys.
The uncle was off on his very well scripted alibi,
so they couldn't.
The maid had to help him get in.
Yes, I forgot. Yeah. Okay,
and then
I didn't pay attention.
But and she cursed because she couldn't get the door open, and she heard Lizzie laugh from the stairs. But so I think Lizzie might have been thrown by that testimony. She didn't, you know what I mean? Because that's something she couldn't have planned for. Because if she really was on the stairs, she would have. It doesn't prove she killed the stepmother. It proves she should probably knew because when you climbed up the stairs and you looked, except for me, because I didn't look, but when you go up the stairs and you turn and you look, you could have, the body was obvious, the stepmother's body was, you could see on the floor from under the bottom of the bed.
Right, because the bedroom was right at the top of the stairs and the bed was high, at the bottom was high. So you could see to the other side of the room. Her body was next to the other side of the bed.
But it was a high bed, you could see.
Right,
underneath.
It was a high bed. Yeah. You could see a large portion under that bed to the other side.
So it would have showed that she would have at least known, if not have done it. And she claimed, she had this whole story about how the stepmother had been called away to see a sick friend.
Yes, and she also said, this part was so weird to me, the amount of pears that her and who else ate. So she went to the barn, was it?
She said that when the mother was being killed, the stepmother was being killed, she claimed that she was ironing handkerchiefs downstairs, which was a weird thing to say because where she was downstairs was it was literally under where the woman was being murdered. So how did she not hear? I mean, somebody falls on the floor in the house where there's creaky wood, right?
Right, because I could hear, we could hear other people in the house. Remember the other tour came in, we could hear from the other room. And even when we were walking up and down the stairs, you could hear through the floors. You could.
Right. And those kind of houses never had any kind of sound.
Right.
And especially because the wood is so creaky. So it was a weird choice. You're saying she was well thought out in her alibi, but I don't think she was well thought out in her alibi. Because I think it would have been a better thing to say that she was not in the house at all or something, or just specifically right under where it happened.
But at some point she said she was in the barn or whatever.
That's when the father died.
Oh, wow. I wasn't.
Yeah.
It's weird because I was paying attention to certain things, but not to other things.
Yeah.
What is happening?
She was ironing
with the world's
iron
smallest
was so
iron.
Tiny is so funny, like it would be in a dollhouse or something. And I asked, well, wouldn't the maid do that? But then the tour guide said, well, no, she did more the heavier labor stuff, and they did that stuff.
Yeah, because there were a lot of stuff that you asked, and I was thinking that the maid did not do. And she also said something about them not really trusting the maid,
which is weird. Like, then why don't you get somebody that you can trust?
Because I think the stepmother did. Remember, she said the stepmother was a lot of nicer. Yeah, it might have been the others that kind of,
Okay, well, then the stepmother would let her in the bedrooms, though, which is there. It's all very confusing. But the maid was Irish, and at that time, people were very prejudiced against Irish people.
Yeah, they called her Maggie, which was not. What was her real name?
Bridget.
Yeah,
supposedly Maggie was a slight at her because she was Irish. But it didn't say that in the Wikipedia. It just said the Wikipedia said her name was Bridget, but then also called Maggie. They never said it was a slight at all.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why Maggie is a slight. Is Maggie?
I guess because it's kind of like
like just a general. Is that like such a popular Irish name? Is it like saying Guido? Is it like Guido?
Maybe.
I don't even do Guido anymore. When was the last time you heard Guido?
No,
That used to be a big thing.
That was like an 80s thing. Remember
they used Guido.
Right, because you would say it if the guy wore like a wife beater,
right,
which is not the correct term anymore. But that's what they used to call it. The wife beater T-shirt.
Yeah.
That they used to drive the IROC.
Oh, yeah.
A Trans Am, like that kind of stuff. That was very 80s.
Well, I was an intern at K-Rock, and there was a guy that kind of was my boss. They have like somebody overseeing, and he introduced himself as Guido. And all right, Guido. And he was extremely stereotypical Italian with the gold chain and the hair.
The gold chain with the, what was that little horn that they, remember that?
Oh my God, my son just got one of those.
Really?
Because they went to Sicily.
Oh.
But it's supposed to ward off evil, but like bad luck. But he was having extreme bad luck ever since he got it. Like,
oh, really? Like the thing in Brady Bunch?
Yeah, but they didn't steal it though. The totem thing in Hawaii.
That they had to bring back to Vincent Price for some reason. Well, and Oliver, remember that's weird.
Was Oliver there?
No, I think the statue was Oliver. I have to look that up.
What?
Maybe
Oh, he called the statue Oliver?
Vincent Price.
Oh, yeah, it did have a name. It did have a name.
Yeah, I'm going to look that up. Because it would be really weird if it was Oliver and then they had cousin Oliver. I have to be wrong.
Or maybe they like we should introduce a character named Oliver. I have no idea, but you're right. It's weird, but
anyway, go ahead.
It's a whole other thing about superstitions that is interesting.
Yeah.
But as a matter of fact, in Hawaii, they have a real thing in Hawaii where like they try to tell you if you take like anything that's on the beach, the natural stuff, that it's cursed, right? They tell you that. And honestly, Casey had taken it. We all took a fair amount of it, right? And I'm like, maybe we should mail this back. But it was, But then I'm like, no, because I found out that they claim that a tour guide made up the whole thing just to stop the people from.
Yeah, that sounds very much like a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, what was this? Oh, so the Guido thing, I did want to share that the guy was called Guido, but it turned out his name was not Guido. It was a nickname. Someone said to him, oh, you're such a Guido. And he loved it. And he wanted to be called Guido. So that's how ridiculous that was.
Yeah.
So I don't know about
that was a big thing there. There was a lot of that in the 80s where you'd call certain groups.
Yeah.
Like you had the Stoners, and this one was really bad.
Don't say
what they called girls.
Oh, what?
What did you think I was going to say?
There was something I heard recently on Howard, and if Sal said it, I don't really want to say it.
Oh, I don't know what that was. No, it's just inappropriate.
Girls?
Yeah, like a certain kind of girl that was,
loose?
No, not loose.
What?
Because they just called those sluts.
You mean like someone that looks like she might enjoy the company of other women?
No, no. I'm going to say it's not terrible, but it's very inappropriate. A Jap. What? Remember Japs?
Jewish American princess.
Yeah.
Yeah. That really came and went. And I don't know if it was because where we lived, there were a lot of those kind of girls that had the But I don't
the
think
big hair, swatches. They wore the collar up on their shirt. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, where I lived, it was I grew up, like, I always call myself a Jew by proxy because I grew up with all Jewish people. But yeah, I don't think that lasted very long.
It shouldn't have. It was kind of obnoxious. I mean,
And
the Guido
confusing.
thing is kind of obnoxious
Well, Jap
too.
is confusing because it was also a racial slur against us.
Right. Yeah. I
Now
don't
we have
know.
2. I forgot about that. What about this Valley Girl thing was also very confusing.
Oh, that was also a very 80s thing.
But the song was about being a Valley Girl, which sounded very pretentious and like spoiled.
Yeah.
But when you go when you go there, the Valley is not good. It's a bad place to live.
But was it during the time?
Yes. Well, it's
in the 80s. It was
never good. The Valley is when you in LA. Oh, they live in the Valley. It's like a put down.
Yeah. No, I'm just asking if at a different time it was
always all of it. It doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I never will. I should ask Moon Unit. What's Moon Unit
that
doing
was
these days?
I feel like I heard something about her recently. Yeah, no,
She had
that
her
was
moment of
making
fame.
fun of Valley Girls.
Yes, but the point, why would someone,
I don't know.
Why would they be pretentious when it's not good to live in the Valley? I understood it was making fun of them, but they shouldn't be. I don't understand how they got called Valley Girls and that was pretentious and rich and all that stuff because
I don't know.
And if you live in the Valley, it's a real put down.
Yeah, I don't know.
People go through a lot of lengths to not identify as living in the Valley.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even understand this Valley. It's huge. It's huge, the Valley.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's all over the place. And you don't know you're in a valley. Like, you seem high enough. I don't know. It doesn't seem. I
guess I did not go there.
You did. That
Did I?
comedy club we went to was in the Valley.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like it's in a valley. It doesn't seem anything different than anything else.
Yeah, no, it just seemed like any other city, town.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I lived there for a year and I still don't get it.
I also found that I went to one of the canyons. Was it Laurel Canyon or Topanga Canyon?
I took you through Laurel.
Yeah, but I went another time.
You hung out there.
We didn't really hang out. We drove through. We went to this weird store. It was because the person I was with knew that a band person lived there. I don't know how she thought we were going to see him, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, it just seems like kind of like a small town. Like it didn't seem like it would be a canyon. But then again, there's a lot of places that are named that aren't.
Canyons are smaller. I mean, like the Grand Canyon is big, but there's smaller canyons too, I guess. And there's a lot of canyons and there's a lot of. Why are we even talking about?
I don't know. Let's go back to Lizzie Borden.
Yeah. So let me. I'll just read the. We'll go back to the house, obviously, but I Googled like why are people so fascinated with Lizzie Borden as opposed to like other cases, and said that the number of blows inflicted were especially gruesome for the time. I guess.
Well, it was also their heads.
Yeah, and the other thing they did was cut off their heads. They secretly cut off their heads. They did a second autopsy, which was in secret, and because supposedly they were buried, but they really weren't, and they did a second autopsy. And they took their head. This is awful. A desecration of corpse. And they used their heads in the trial, like in the courtroom.
Yeah, but first they boiled the heads to remove everything off the skull.
That's absolutely disgusting. Like in a lobster pot or something.
By the way,
the guy took him home.
She did not give a satisfactory answer about the secret autopsies.
Why?
Because they said like they hid it from Lizzie. That's what I assume she meant at first.
Well, she meant everybody.
Right, but she didn't at that time. She did later. I guess she was saving it, say that there were other suspects. But when I asked, she was kind of like, eh.
Well, I don't know. I mean, all I know is that I know it was a total secret to anybody.
Yes.
But I think now, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a suspect. I don't think they can just do that with a body without telling people.
No, I don't think. I mean, but this was 1890.
Yeah. But I mean,
whatever.
The fact that the guy took them home, boiled them in his lobster pot. How do you live with yourself?
I don't know. Do you think he'd use that pot again?
Probably.
Gross.
I don't know, but the whole thing's disgusting. And they put him in the court, and then Lizzie fainted. Well, of course she fainted. It's shocking. She had no idea they were going to be there.
Yeah.
You can't blame her for that.
And the skulls had big, jagged holes in them because
they had a picture of the woman's head. That didn't look as damaged as the skull.
I found it disturbing. You didn't.
It looked fine to me. It just looked like
she was talking, and all I could do was look at that picture. I'm like, what is that?
It just looked like the back of a head to me. It didn't.
You didn't see like it was all cracked?
So what? It was still whole. It wasn't like the skull itself with the hole in it.
I don't know.
The head looked whole.
It bothered me.
And there wasn't bloody at all. What was going on? Why wasn't it bloody?
Because they probably washed it. They shaved the hair. They shaved the hair down.
What the hell is the point of that? Like
I have
you
no
saw
idea.
nothing
I
with
don't
that.
know.
Yeah, I would. To me, it just confused the issue. To me, like because you didn't see. I think the skull shows way more with the holes in it.
Yeah, I was more bothered by that picture.
Well, why would a skull have holes, but the back of her head doesn't have a hole? How did that happen?
I don't. Well, I think the holes were on the sides. I don't think they were in the back of the head.
I said, well, so the back of the head picture was not needed at all. But anyway, I don't know. To me, that proved nothing. It's funny. You and I both regard things differently.
Yeah.
It's like a jury, right? Like everybody sees things their own way, So the Bordens were a well-known and somewhat wealthy family in Fall River, Massachusetts, making the murders all more shocking. What they say he had at the time, it was $500,000, but it would be like.
No, I think it was more than $500,000. It might have been $1 million.
I thought she said half, but whatever it was translates to like, I don't know, 12 million now or something?
Yeah, something like that. Like he was wealthy. Yeah. I mean, he wasn't crazy wealthy,
but it was also a penny
wealthy,
pitcher, and they didn't have, she did say they didn't have indoor plumbing, but I researched, it turns out you could have indoor plumbing, but he was too.
She did say that because I was like, those bathrooms obviously weren't there, right?
She said that they didn't have the indoor plumbing.
She said that they used the chamber pots. Yeah.
I know that, but she didn't say that they could have had indoor plumbing, but he was too cheap.
Oh, yeah. No, she didn't say. Okay.
That's the part
I didn't know that's
saying.
what you meant.
That's what I was saying. Like, I don't. And meanwhile, he spent money, like he bought his wife's family a house. So I don't understand why somebody that would be that generous to do that would not pay for their own indoor plumbing.
He bought the girls a house too, because remember they sold it back to him?
Yeah, that's weird. I don't really get all that, but they were very. On one hand,
love espresso, drip coffee, and cold brew? With the Ninja Luxe Cafe, if you can crave it, you can brew it. Espresso, balanced. Drip coffee, rich. Cold brew, in a flash. With Barista Assist technology, you brew with no stress and no guesswork. And make perfect silky microfoam hands-free from dairy or plant-based milks. Bring the coffeehouse home and unlock your favorites with the Ninja Luxe Cafe.
Spoiled, but on the other hand, the man's not paying for indoor plumbing that was available. Like, to me, that would be a splurge.
I think that's what these spoiled kids were trying to say. Because remember, they said they wanted a bigger house.
They wanted to live in a better area, too.
Yeah.
But to me, the most important thing would be the plumbing.
Yeah.
To not have to do the bedpans anymore? I mean, come on.
That I would be all about it.
I don't understand it. But what's he saving his money for?
I don't know.
I don't understand that. But anyway, so the trial and acquittal. The trial was a media spectacle, and the acquittal of Lizzie, despite some compelling evidence against her, fueled public debate and speculation. And you always say she has crazy eyes, and she does definitely in the pictures have crazy eyes.
Yes,
but they said she was on the morphine.
Yes, the doctor, whatever the doctor's name was, it gave her morphine for the trial.
And so she was always like really high as a kite. So you really couldn't say.
It also explains. I was trying to look up quotes, and all her answers were very like.
She's high.
Yeah. Yes, it does explain her answers.
Yeah. So that does also add another layer of questioning. But that doctor really liked her. Like it was very scandalous. After her acquittal, he was seen taking her to church or something.
A different church than he went to, and his wife was not there. He was married.
Yeah, he definitely. I think that people were kind of smitten with her. In a way, like at least he was.
Well, look at all these murderers in jail that have women. I mean, someone even married Charles Manson. Seriously.
Okay, so then unsolved mystery. The unsolved nature of the case and lingering questions about Lizzie's potential guilt or innocence have kept the story alive. Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, I have to correct myself. I'm not sure they got married, but he had a girlfriend later in life in jail.
Okay. I don't know.
I would have to check that too. There's a lot of checking.
Fact checking will happen. Media frenzy. The case occurred during a period of rapid growth in mass market newspapers and magazines, resulting in widespread and sensationalized coverage that amplified public interest. Oh, so it just happened to be at a time when these things were happening in newspapers and magazines, things were growing. That's interesting. Victim perpetrator role reversal. The case challenged societal expectations as it involved a woman from a prominent background being accused of a brutal crime. Yeah. Like, so if she had been killed, and say the role was reversed and it was father, it's true. It probably wouldn't have, interesting. And then the nursery rhyme, because I think the nursery rhyme really, it's these little things that perpetuate in culture. For example, the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere, there's that poem, right? Because there were other people that did rides as well. At least there was at least one other one. I am an expert in many parts of the Revolutionary War, but that's not one of them. I will say that. But I know there was at least one that you never heard of the other person. Why? Because of the poem, The Midnight Ride of Paul Revere. It's that simple. Why do when we talk about George Washington, like there's a lot of things we never hear about that. Well, I've written about them. I hope people are hearing now. But why do they talk about Washington crossing the Delaware? Because of that painting. Because someone made a painting of him crossing the Delaware, but there's no painting of him at the Battle of Long Island. There's there might be lit now, but like nothing famous like that. That's like one of those moments because it's memorialized in a very famous painting. I think society goes to those simple things, a nursery ride that's said over and over again, and then a painting. That's the thing that sets something apart and makes it stick.
Yeah.
Which says, it's like we're not big on like analyzing and really like,
have you been here?
That's what I'm saying. I find it very sad
like
that it's a simple.
You don't find that about everything?
And even, another thing is like slogans, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like people vote based on a friggin' slogan, like it's catchy,
right.
Like it's disheartening that people are that easily swayed by a slogan.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm just saying.
So I vote for the nursery rhyme being the reason why she's so famous.
It might be because, like you were asking me when I knew this rhyme, I don't know. I just did.
Yeah,
I don't know
why.
We
all know it. Like, but
I knew it was wrong, but I still bought the magnet.
Yeah, you bought the magnet that says that. That was your choice
because
of all the souvenirs.
Yeah, because I understand that it's not true, but like that's the rhyme I've always known, and I like it. I know it's not right.
See, for me, I can't do it because I'm so no, like, yeah. I'm not against historical fiction. Like, say, you don't know what the dialogue. Sometimes people said so you could do that, but I still want it to be true. I want the facts to be that are presented to be true, and I know that. Like, so it's just for me. Like I kind of wanted that bumper sticker about axing me with, but once I found out it was a hatchet because I didn't know until I got here. I'm like, forget it. All these souvenirs are wrong now. I don't want any of them. It ruined there was one shirt I was going to get. Did she do it? But then I really kind of thought she did it. So I'm like, I'm not going to get this shirt either. So I didn't get anything.
Yeah. Like I'm okay. I know the truth. And the other stuff is like entertainment to me. Like it doesn't bother me.
I know. I just can't
a lot of stuff I know isn't true. Like I'm okay as long as I know what the actual facts are. I can accept the other stuff because I don't take it seriously. Like it's a magnet. It's not a big deal to me.
But for some reason, and I don't want to be this way because it does. It kind of. I'm kind of tortured by the whole thing.
Yeah.
That I'm such a purist about history, like Shakespeare. I went when I was dating my ex-husband. We went to I went to NYU and they had a play of Hamlet, and I didn't know that they had really messed with it. Well, in a way, it was pure because they did present the dialogue. Everything was right, except they had 5 Hamlets all dressed in like male business suits, and like one of them was a woman. Like, so, but it was weird because they were absolutely true to every aspect of the dialogue, of the scenes. They did not mess with the words, but they did. Like Polonius basically was dressed like a used car salesman, and there were 5 Hamlets reciting everything in unison, which is now
that's the part that would annoy me.
Well, I was annoyed, but now when I think about it, it's maybe technically not wrong because, like, I guess Shakespeare never said how to dress people. You know what I mean? Like, like so it's an interpretation, and like maybe it's showing all the different aspects of Hamlet, like psychological, but that doesn't really work because they're all saying the same thing. So it's not like they're portraying. I don't know. But I am a little more lenient to it now. But at the time, I was completely horrified. And I was like, this is not how it is. And I was like, so,
I also get like that, but about different things than you. But I have my own things that it irritates me when people don't get.
About things you care about.
Yeah.
See, it's things we care about.
I'm very like that about music. Like it annoys me when people don't know anything about it. Like I told you about that. I went to that laser light show.
Oh, yeah.
And I love Metallica. I've been seeing Metallica for 30-something years, right?
Yeah.
So I went, they were having a laser light show, which is goofy, but whatever, by my house.
Fun.
I've gone to several and they were very enjoyable. I've been to like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin. I liked them. They were good. But I think I'm a little more serious about Metallica because I know everything.
You do. You always have a story.
There
about
are certain
Metallica.
bands that I know everything because once I'm in it, I'm in it.
Right.
So, and they played like all these, like the goofy hits. And I'm like, really? I mean, and I get it because nobody's coming for like the deep tracks because why would they? It's not fun. It's not. But for me, I was like, oh my God, they have so much better stuff than this. Like
and
Enter Sandman, like everybody, like my grandmothers know Enter Sandman. And like, you know what I mean? Like that's like, it irritated me. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm so irritated by this.
Well,
I still enjoyed it. Oh, the people were like yelling rock and roll between the songs. I was like, where do you think you are?
They like, that's weird.
I would never yell rock and roll anywhere because that's just goofy. It's a goofy thing to do.
The people were goofy.
Right. I get
Everything
weird with stuff like that. Like I also, this is a very unpopular thing because everybody does this, but for some reason it irritates me when people wear the band shirt to the actual show. That annoys me. I don't know why.
Well, that doesn't make sense. Of course, why wouldn't you?
I'm saying everybody else seems to be fine with it. For some reason, it irritates me. And I wear band T-shirts.
So you're wearing a Metallica shirt right now. So you wouldn't wear that?
I would never wear it to a show.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't say it made any sense.
Because you're showing your allegiance to the band.
I bought a ticket. I don't need to show my allegiance to the band.
You get excited. Okay, so I bought, like, we're here with the revolutionary stuff. So, like, I bought this shirt. It says, what does it say?
The job of a writer is to make revolution, what? Irresistible.
Yeah, so I'm going to wear that, even though we're not, like, I have this, and then I have another one that talks about the 250th anniversary of the revolution. I'm going to wear that while we're walking around, Is that bad?
That does not bother me at all.
Well, but it's sort of the same thing.
It is, but it's not my thing. Once again, I have been telling you this whole 2 days. So nothing is rational with me. It's just you have certain rules about things that you're passionate about. Okay, but it doesn't. But then rules that shouldn't apply to anybody else.
But it just is the same thing when I'm doing as someone wearing a Metallica shirt to a Metallica. Yeah. It's exactly the same thing.
And listen, everybody does it.
Okay. Yeah, I would do it.
Every time you go to any show, I used to go see. Always,
I feel like I'm just such a typical Long Islander when I say it, but I used to go see Billy Joel a lot, right?
And Billy Joel is a super Long Island.
And I would why wouldn't I wear the shirt from another concert?
It's just me. I understand. But, I was wearing like a Van Halen shirt. And
you wore that to that?
No, I was wearing it somewhere else. And the guy I was...
That would be an interesting choice.
There was a person in the group I was with that goes, did you get that at the concert? And I'm like, yeah, why? And he goes, I only like band T-shirts from the actual show. And I'm like, you know what?
As opposed to a bootleg from outside?
No, it was a bootleg from outside, but because I'm not crazy. But it was bought at the show. Like I was at a Van Halen show and I bought the T-shirt. I didn't buy it from a store.
Okay.
And that was his thing. And I was like,
all right.
Wow, I don't get that at all. But I'm like, I'm weird too.
What about my niece when I told her, what was she wearing now? I can't remember.
Oh, when they wear T-shirts, but they have no idea what the band is. Oh my God, that makes me insane.
I'm like, I thought it was so cool that she knew it. I can't remember. Oh man, I can't even remember what it was.
Probably Def Leppard. It seems to be.
Yes, it was.
Shirt.
I think it might have been Def Leppard.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of young people wear Def Leppard.
And I'm like,
Metallica shirts for some odd reason.
I'm like, and she's like, I don't know, I just like the shirt. I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, it was a specific one of the albums. It was like
Pyromania, Hysteria.
No. Maybe it was. I don't know, but it was a specific, not just the band, but it had a specific reference that I got excited, but she knew nothing of the whole thing.
Oh no, a lot.
It was it had something with a leopard. It said Def Leppard, but then it had like I don't know. It just made me so angry. Like, I don't know why that she didn't actually.
I don't know why that annoys me too.
Well, because why would you buy a shirt of a band why would you buy a shirt that you have? I don't understand why people wear things they don't know what they're wearing. Why are you wearing something that's
maybe they like leopards?
But even if like you bought it and you're mistaken about what it is, at least you had a concept of why you were wearing it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem with. We only know what we know, right? Maybe you thought this and made you want it. Just the fact that you thought, oh, it was a cool shirt or whatever, like that's so odd. I don't get that.
But that's another thing. That's our hang up.
I have another question.
It's not theirs.
This is just something I always wondered.
We have gone off the rails.
But there's another question I have to ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why with Victoria's Secret they were selling the pink thing, but the things weren't pink?
Oh, I don't know.
What the fuck?
I have no idea.
What?
I don't know.
I did like that Victoria's Secret song when they said that Victoria's a dude. You ever hear that song?
No.
Yeah, it was like a thing. I heard it first on maybe TikTok. I saw a video of it. The girl,
that's funny.
They showed a girl like all sad because she got picked on for not being as thin as other girls or whatever. Something with Victoria. And she's like, and she starts perfectly singing the song about Victoria's Secret. And then I weirdly heard it on one of Beth Stern's Instagram posts. She was playing, the song was playing in the back. She's dancing funny. With the cats. So it was but anyway, yes. Well, all that to say, it just shows my point about humanity. Like that people are, when it comes to, you think they're showing to allegiance for something when they don't even know what the hell they're talking about.
That's very true. Yeah.
But everybody's but I'm not even being judgy about it. I'm just saying
everybody's got to do their
thing. I feel
thing.
disappointed about people, especially when it comes to, I don't know, like there was a quote, I was looking for a quote today and it said, the more we look in the past, we're looking forward. And I think it's so true that we're learning about ourselves so much when we learn about history. And that's why I think, because psychology doesn't change. Right. And that's why I think it's so vital that we one reason why we must pay attention to history. And so I find it completely disappointing when people have a silly reason for an allegiance to something like a nursery rhyme, but yet such consequential things are left unexamined. Makes me nuts.
You know what? I'm one of those people, so I can't really say, but I do agree.
But I will say you always have interesting things to say about Metallica. Like, and I understand that they say, I don't think that they're like, I don't like focusing on like death. Well, that's not true. I read about it a lot.
But it's not all death. There's
I know.
Many different.
And when they explore stuff, they're looking at it in more of like an analyzing kind of way rather than ruminating on the horror. But I guess I just don't like it that way myself. I can't explain why, but I guess it's just not the way that I relate. It's all in the way we relate to material, right? So I don't have that way of relating to the music where like you find your way into it that way. But for me, it would be more like reading about it.
Well, it's kind of like Stephen King. Everybody's like, well, he's just a horror writer. But that's not really the focus. There is horror.
Yeah.
And there is kind of, supernatural. But it's mostly about relationships.
Sure. Absolutely.
And not like the
human condition between people.
Right.
Absolutely.
Not just, married,
That's why I used to read them a lot. And it certainly wasn't for the horror or that. It was about that. I did like that. And after a while, I just couldn't take it anymore because some of the stuff, just for me. But it would, like that book with the pie. The
Thinner.
Because the idea that in, the family relationship with like you eat a piece of the pie, there was a curse in the pie and you would become thinner until you died, I guess. And the fact of someone doing that to the, someone in their family because they're mad at them because of something that happened. Wow. Like, that shows the horror of humanity right there, like he really does delve very deeply into psychology.
He does, and he tells a hell of a story too.
And Pet Sematary is like with the kid. Oh,
yeah.
There's so much, it's about consequence of your decisions.
Yes.
There's a lot of that. So yeah, I think that's the only reason, like I respect him greatly, but, it got to be too much for me, a lot of it, but no, yeah, I've always valued him for his analyzation of humanity. Yeah. And he wrote a great book on writing, by the way. Amazing book.
I know. I don't even write, but I read it.
Great book. Yeah.
It was good. It was interesting. I didn't think I would find it interesting.
And the way, he also talked about that accident he had, when he almost died. And that's crazy that the guy died like that. Wow. But and I love the origin story of his career, of Carrie and everything. Like, fascinating. I think anybody would be interested in that. But anyway,
he's amazing. Love him.
All
right, we should probably. I'm sorry.
No, we don't have to. What time? How long have we been doing this?
Like an hour and change.
Have we already?
Yeah.
Okay. I will read this quote. She was a media sensation because her trial exposed the sleazy shortcomings of high society. That's true. You know what? People always thought about the culture difference, especially then, because, I mean, we still have it, but I think in a way now people can sort of, I think it's not really equalized, but people everybody has an iPhone, so everybody can kind of be famous at least somewhat. I think things have been equaled out. Not really, but they psychologically.
There are a lot of people who are now famous for whatever.
Where before it was like, you're either rich or you're not, and that's it. Like, there was no. So at the time, the people the poorer masses decided in the sleazy shortcomings of the high society, oh, this can happen with a rich family. Yeah. And this is a quote this is a Stanford legal historian, Lawrence M. Friedman. The case ripped aside a curtain that covered and concealed a kind of dry rot, a concealed pathology.
Yeah.
One which arguably was eating away at the pillars of respectable society. That's interesting.
Oh, I like that.
That's a good quote, right? Yeah. So anyway, there's a lot more I could say, but I did want to say this interested me because I always think about the psychological ramifications of like a parent doing something that scars a child and this and that. So there is definitely was known that the girls resented their stepmother. And like Bridget said, that Emma and Lizzie rarely ate meals with their parents. And I guess they resented him because he married someone else. Like, Lizzie was only 2 when her mother died, right?
Yeah, it's funny. Right. Before this, I always kind of thought that they had like the evil stepmother kind of thing going, but it doesn't sound like that at all.
You know,
I mean, we don't know.
I don't know either. I don't feel like she went out of her way to really be loving toward them.
Right. But I thought it was more like she was horrible to them. Do you know what I mean?
I think the jury's out on that. Haha, literally.
Yeah.
I don't think we
didn't hear anything yesterday.
I don't think we got enough information on that. Yeah.
But it kind of made me question it a little.
I questioned why he would marry her because they said it was more of a transaction. This woman said it was more of a transactional relationship. And I questioned why he didn't get someone that was at least like, if he had money, if you're rich, like you could at least get like a trophy wife, right? I'm not saying it's right, but a lot of them do. Okay. But this woman was like his age. Okay. And if he didn't really cherish her, like if it was really transactional, like why didn't he go for like somebody like different? Like she just didn't seem like she didn't really fit. Like why did he pick her when he could have bought what he wanted, kind of for lack of a.
I know, but it also kind of goes back to the why didn't he get a bigger house? Why didn't he do this?
Yeah, but he did. But in this case,
he
did spend
that kind of person.
But he spent money on the. Well, maybe he did really love her. I don't think our tour guide really knew.
He did that for her family,
right? So that maybe he did love her.
He might have,
but she presented it that he didn't. That's why I was questioning it. But maybe he did. She doesn't sound like she was overly motherly to the kids, like, and especially with someone so little, like Lizzie was 2. I think if you're really, really loving to a kid from when they're 2, and like they're not going to have that many memories of her mother, I think you win them over. So to me, it doesn't sound like she tried.
No, but that doesn't make her a horrible person.
I didn't say it did.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying, why not pick somebody that's going to be motherly to your kids at least? I don't know. That's all I'm saying. But maybe he didn't care. I don't know. I definitely we don't have enough information about all of this for sure. But I was like, why would she do this? And then people say, well, she was mad, like she wanted his money basically, and she wanted to move and she in fact did move to a fancier place immediately, and she had one of the first cars, right? And she couldn't drive it because she was a woman, which that's insane, right? But they built a circular driveway thing, so that like a circular thing that you could turn, so the car wouldn't have to actually be turned around, like the drive. I mean, that's shocking that this circular thing. It's like Batman. You know what I mean? Like you don't hear about that. So there is evidence that she wanted money, but was it enough to kill? Because on one hand, you hear in the same tour, we heard the girls were spoiled. We heard that they had this and that. But on the other hand, then we also heard that they had limited allowances. Like, so I don't think we're getting the full, we definitely didn't get the full picture, but a psychological, a psychological motive that I personally related to the minute I read it was that they were killed in August. In May of 1892, Andrew killed multiple pigeons in his barn with a hatchet, believing that they were attracting local children to hunt them. Lizzie had recently built a roost for the pigeons, and it has been commonly recounted that she was upset over his killing them. Okay, now, this has been disputed. We don't know this, right? Now, for me, that is so upsetting because she's a spinster, whatever you call that. She's 32. She doesn't have children. People that don't have children in particular are often animals become their children. If you're inclined to love an animal, right? So
I have children and my animals are my children.
But all right, but say you didn't.
I always tell my kids that those are their brothers.
Well, before I had kids, my cat, I always love all animals. Don't get me wrong, but like my cats were my children, like, right? So I can so this to me is a legitimate thing. Now, someone named Sarah Miller states in her 2016 book, The Borden Murders, Lizzie Borden in the Trial of the Century, said that the account of Lizzie being profoundly upset over the death of the pigeon is unfounded. It has become part of the myth surrounding her. So I don't know. All I'm saying is that made sense to me because first of all, if he did it with hatchets and then he died by a hatchet, that's like, yeah, I got you with the hatchet that you killed those pigeons with. And I think it's such a primal response, right? Like, so that for me made way more sense than, and I know it's my psychological thing, but like if I were writing a book based on this, like, fictional or whatever, that would be that for me would work as a motive.
I could see that. I personally think, the straw that broke the camel's back? Like, I could see that being like she had all this resentment and anger. Right. And then that being like pushing you over the edge.
Wow. Imagine Charlotte's Web if Pa did go to the barn and chop up the pig, and then that girl went ape shit. Killed her. It's a whole other book.
You know what?
A whole other book.
Listen, that guy made Wicked in a different point of view. You know?
Where's Pa going with that axe? Well, she couldn't quite stop
Maybe
Pa.
it was a hatchet.
Well, it was an axe. She said, where's Pa going with that axe? It is and that's a great opening line, by the way. Great opening line. They teach that in my MFA program. We went over that. But wow, yeah, I could go dark with that one.
Yes.
Very dark.
I would read that.
Thank you. Maybe I'll do that.
All right. Something to look forward to.
That's right. So then a family, now this I don't think this is not undisputed. This is a fact. The other thing, we don't know how much she felt about that. This is true. A family argument in July of 1892 prompted both sisters to take extended vacations in New Bedford. They returned to Fall River a week before the murders, and Lizzie chose to stay in a local rooming house for 4 days before returning to the Borden residence. So whatever they fought about, she was just reintroduced to the situation when this happened. So you could see something boiling.
By the way, I just have to mention here, I don't know if anybody else finds this, but is that rich people problems that you had a fight with your family and then you go on vacation because you're upset?
I think that poor people would run away.
Right.
Well, not right. I mean, they're in the 30s.
Listen, I get pissed off all the time. I don't go on vacation.
Right. They don't go on vacation, but they would leave, or they might just kill on the spot.
I'd be more likely to kill. I don't have money to go on vacation every time I have a fight with somebody.
Nobody got money for that. Yeah. Right. Well, and then the other sister was not even home. She was still she was at a friend somewhere.
Like, fuck that too.
And the tension had been growing. And then there was Andrew's gift of real estate to people in Abby's family. And then he gave them a house too, but instead of them living in it, they rented it out, which is weird. Like I would want to be out of that house if I didn't get along. Why wouldn't you just freaking live in that other house? See, that doesn't, whatever. So they sold it back to him for $5,000, which is $173. How specific?
I was thinking that too.
In 2023, I guess when this was written. So then the uncle, John Vinicum Morse, that's an interesting middle name, Vinicum. I don't like it, but whatever, Morse, that's mean. Lizzie and Emma's maternal uncle came the night before the murders, okay? And Andrew invited him to stay a few days. Now, I do think it's interesting that the guy arrived, boom, and then they were dead, okay? And this guy had a very, very specific, he had like a receipt. He had so much alibi stuff. It was like he must have, I feel like he knew it was happening, even if he wasn't if something happened because the man had a receipt for a penny stamp. The man had, he said names of people he just met on the street. Why would he get their names?
You know what? There's 90% of me that agrees with you, but there's 10% of the crazy me that thinks, isn't it a possibility that he was just kind of OCD and nutty?
Well, that's another, we don't know him really. But
right. I mean,
what about, he said he met like 7 priests or something on a trolley. Was it a trolley? I think so. But the trolley driver did not remember ever seeing him. Okay, so that's big. I
know, but is that really weird? Well, you would remember 7 priests, but would you just remember a random guy?
Were on like the thing was that it was on the route
of course they would remember.
But the priests were on the route every day. Okay, so the guy, so the guy could have said that he saw 7 priests because he knew that there was a route. If he had been coached by Lizzie, she could say, this is your alibi.
Of course.
Say there's these priests because every day these priests are on this because it's
of course it's possible.
Okay, and apparently, according to our tour guide, if he had not been on the trolley, he would have had time to come kill.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I would have liked more of that. Now, am I going to go study this? Probably not, because I have my own things to study that I'm working on, but I do think there is so much room to speculate here about that. Now, it sounds like she did kill them, but maybe she didn't do it alone. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? And I said this, but you two were horrified. Maybe she was sleeping with Morse. Why is that horrifying? There's incest. So much incest.
Well, it's always gross. Like nobody likes that.
But you were like, oh, no.
Ew.
Like, but it happens a lot.
I know, but I don't. It doesn't mean that I don't find it horrifying.
For me, I was just trying. When I try to figure out a case, or like I put on my detective hat, and I'm not thinking about gross on that. I'm thinking like, what's the motive?
Right, but he didn't gain anything.
Well, maybe he thought he would. Maybe just like that doctor had a crush on
that's
her.
true, because I was thinking that yesterday. Maybe they promised him that money, and
or maybe he thought, or maybe he thought he was going to continue the relationship with him. Maybe. We honestly don't know about her relationships after that. For all we know, they could have had.
That's very true.
We don't know. So, anyway, there's that. And then I'm going to just skip to, all is to say, and she was acquitted. And the jury was like a bunch of, it's interesting because, of course, women couldn't be on the jury then either. But the men, I think everybody was kind of mesmerized by her. And there was one other thing, that she was caught burning a dress that had like brown stains on it. And this ended a friendship with somebody that's witnessed her doing it, because the friend like reported her for it, whatever. And so there was really no way to prove what it was, because those stupid cops, if they had just searched, they would have had this dress, right? And then they would have been able to test it, whatever they can do these days, right? Yeah. But they didn't. So she was able to burn it. Think about it. These women stayed in this house, had guests over, had all the evidence around. And so, of course, it was, and it's just kind of interesting that someone saw her burning the dress. I would have done it probably at midnight alone, whatever. But so she said that it was paint that she dipped the skirt in, and then they got people to testify, oh, yes, she did the paint. Now, of course, you could say they paid people. We don't know. But honestly, I do think it would be hard to convict her on what they have, because it was themselves to blame for that. Yeah. They never found the murder weapon. They never found, there's so much, Yeah. And she said she was in the barn eating pears.
3 pears.
And they're like, it was so hot in that barn. Now, why didn't she just say she was in the orchard? Because the guy, now the uncle, when he came home, walked past all the crime scene stuff, did not ask what happened to anybody, and took some pears and ate. No, he went in the orchard and ate pears.
People like pears.
But, okay, but if he didn't ask what's going on, which is very odd, like maybe he knew.
Maybe he did, or maybe he's just a weirdo. Right.
I often wonder if you're guilty of something, why wouldn't you make sure? Because they say, oh, he didn't act interested, he didn't do that. We saw that in the case last night. The guy. Why don't they help with the searches? Why don't they ask what's going on when they're guilty?
Because some people are just not right. It doesn't mean they killed anybody, but they're just not right in that.
Well, if you're a calculating murderer, though, you should know. I mean, everybody knows you're suspected if you don't. Right or wrong, people judge you on your behavior. And number one is, did you ask about things? Because if you didn't, maybe you already knew.
But once again, people are weird.
Well, that does sum it up. So then the thing about the stairs, the fact that she laughed also made her sound kind of evil. I think she's laughing. Someone's dead and about to be dead. Like, oh, all right. So there's a lot of other things, and you guys could definitely, obviously. Oh, Dr. Bowen, that's his name. The guy, the doctor.
And what is their last name? Borden?
All right, it's true. It's true. It's very similar. So there's a lot of speculation, but probably, usually the simplest answer is the best. And it does seem like she probably did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and she had tried to buy poison the next day, but wasn't able to.
Yeah.
So
she tried to do it the clean way.
Honestly, poison is not, it's not an undetectable crime. They can find the poison. Like people think
she got away with killing them with a hatchet.
She did.
So
it's worse. Yeah.
I mean,
if she did it, but the dentist just got convicted for poisoning his wife with the milkshakes. That was a crazy story. Yeah. What a jerk.
His milkshake brings all the girls to the yard. He
said that she wanted him. She was trying to kill. She wanted to die because he wanted a divorce, and so he was doing it with her blessings. Like because you always choose to die in the most tortured way possible.
With milkshakes. Okay,
I think it was smoothies.
Okay,
do you? When you're dying? Okay. So
they're definitely very long.
All right. Well, we're gonna cut some of that, but I just want to go to the end. Where is it? Okay, I wanted to say that a lot of things. The trial has been compared to the later trials of Bruno Hauptmann. That's the guy with the baby.
No.
The baby, the kidnapping.
I have no idea. I don't know who that is.
I'm trying to tell you the kidnapping of the guy, the guy Lindbergh baby. I think that's the kidnapper. Ethel and Julius Rosenberg. Oh, that's sad. And O.J. Simpson. This trial has been compared to them as a landmark in publicity and public interest in the history of American legal proceedings. And there's been many, many things made in show business and books, but I thought this was interesting. In a January 21st, 1956 episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents called The Older Sister presents a fictionalized account occurring 1 year after the murders, where Lizzie and Emma have a conversation revealing who the murderer was. And I think that's interesting. It's called The Older Sister, so maybe it's saying Emma did it. I find that interesting. I would like to see that. And then ABC commissioned The Legend of Lizzie Borden. This is one you saw. You were telling me about 1975, a television film starring Elizabeth Montgomery as Lizzie Borden. And of course, she was bewitched. What was her name on the show?
Samantha.
And this is, and in the movie, she got naked before she killed them. So that's why she didn't get blood on her. It was later, I think they did that for like shock, in my opinion. It was later discovered after Montgomery died that she and Borden were in fact 6 cousins once removed, both descending from 17th century Massachusetts resident John Luther. And then the genealogist who discovered it said, I wonder how Elizabeth would have felt if she knew she was playing her own cousin. I think that's kind of remarkable. Yeah. What are the odds of that happening, right? And then 40 years later, Lifetime aired the Christina Ricci vehicle. Lizzie Borden took an axe wrong and followed it with a series called The Lizzie Borden Chronicles. While both were panned by critics, they did bring the case back to the public eye, opening the door for an upcoming well, at the time it was upcoming, but this is older, a thriller starring Chloe Sevigny. Is that how you say it?
I think so.
Yes, I've heard that name. Was she dating Bradley Cooper?
I don't know.
Anyway, as Lizzie, and Kristen Stewart as Bridget Sullivan, the family maid. And now, this is interesting. Borden will be the focus of the 4th season of the true crime anthology series Monster. I believe that's on Netflix, and I believe that's the thing that had what are those guys called? Menendez brothers.
Yeah.
So that might be interesting. And that's all I have to say about that. Oh, and of course, and Agatha Christie seemed to refer to it also.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll do my quotes.
Wait, just one more thing.
Yes, ma'am.
It's fun to go to the Lizzie Borden house. It's not that we didn't enjoy it.
Right.
Don't spend the $7 in the basement.
Don't do that. And yeah, it's if you like this kind of thing, you will enjoy it.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was fun.
And it's weird to see the bed and breakfast part. Just saying.
Yeah, you can. Oh, that's another thing. You can sleep in those rooms. I don't know what it would cost, probably, judging by what we pay. I don't know, but it is if you're an aficionado.
Aficionado.
Oh my God. I like aficionado better.
Okay.
I'm going to change that word because I'm a writer and I can do that.
I'll do the Cougar Town. Change approved.
Thank you. Because after all, Shakespeare created at least 300 words. So I should be able. Aficionado makes way more sense.
Okay.
So if you're into that, you will like it a lot.
Yeah.
It was fun. And they even had the bodies in the rooms and everything.
Yeah.
And the real autopsy. Well, you could probably see that. You could see the autopsy photos on Wikipedia. But yeah. So we're not against it, but I do wish that things were a little bit more,
Yeah.
historically accurate. That's my wish. And I don't really care about a cat. I love cats, but the fact that a cat walked through paint in like 1990 doesn't, whatever year it was, probably past that. Okay, so I had a really hard time finding quotes because I did find the quote from Ted Bundy, but I couldn't even bring myself to quote him. Like he gives me such chills. I know you're always interested in studying serial killers. For me, they're not. I don't like to study them because to me they're like the boogeyman. Like, and the fact that they don't have. For me, murder is interesting when it's personal, even if it's people didn't know each other that well, right? But they're dating. Like, even if it's not that well known, I'm interested in the relationships between the people that led up to the murder. And a serial killer is just hunting prey, is not looking at relationships. So to me, they're not the ones I'm kind of afraid of them. Like, because I know I'm never going to find the answer to any questions of murder because it is irrational at whole. But the motives, it's just so random. I guess it could just be anybody, and there's really no good reason except the person's a friggin' psychopath. So I didn't want to quote him. I just couldn't handle it. So it took me a long time. You were like, what is happening?
I was like, what's going on?
What is going on? And I couldn't. Okay, so here I have a quote from Raymond Chandler, and he said, he didn't know the right people. That's all a police record means. And I thought that was appropriate with Lizzie, It's true. And then I have a quote from Agatha Christie from the ABC Murders. And a side note, they are making some really good new adaptations of Agatha Christie's. Highly recommend. Check them out. You can see some of them on Prime. Sometimes you have to pay more for the British stuff, but Prime itself has some really good, really, really good stuff. So she said, if one could order a crime as one does a dinner, what would one choose? Let's review the menu. Robbery? It says froggery. Robbery? Forgery? I want froggery. Robbery? Forgery? No, I think not. Rather too vegetarian. It must be murder. Red-blooded murder. With trimmings, of course.
I really like that one. Yeah. I agree.
Okay. And you?
I only have one, and it's from a stupid movie that I love so much.
Okay.
So I Married an Axe Murderer.
I've never seen that.
So funny. So this character, Harriet, is asked, how many people have you brutally murdered? And her answer is, well, brutal is a very subjective word. I mean, what's brutal to one person might be totally reasonable to somebody else.
That is very true. I do like that.
So there you go.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for being on our journey with us.
And we're off to Salem.
We're off to Salem. We'll probably talk about that in Boston next time. So hope you're into it.
Because that's what you're getting.
Well, you never know with us.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
It seems likely.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So au revoir.
Bye.
Lowe's knows to bring your vision to life, it's important to find the right color. That's why MyLowe's Rewards members get a free Valspar paint or exterior stain sample to test your look to confidently refresh your space. Offer valid in-store only 8/7 to 8/20. Limit 1 per customer while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See associate for details. Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.